Okay, so now that we've calculated all the share prices for the different conversion methods for the convertible note conversion, we're going to go in and add in the valuation cap calculations so that whenever we go to integrate all of these formulas, we can do that seamlessly, and also just to help with the understanding of how this works. So as you can see right over here, I went ahead and typed in a few things. Valuation cap calcs, principal plus interest divided by cap plus funds invested, shares per method, discounted share price, and principal plus interest divided by discounted share price. So just to start, let's do this. So we'll do plus principal plus interest, I'm going to lock that in, divided by the cap plus funds invested. So the cap is 5 million, that's set here. The total funds invested in the round is this 316,640. And those need to be in parentheses because we want the sum of the cap plus funds invested, not just divided by the cap and then add in funds invested. So that is just basic order of operations once again. So all these cells are locked, and then we're going to multiply that by the appropriate method of conversion. So in this one it's 1, 0, 0. That way if we go in and change this to a 0, this becomes a 0, making the formulas calculate correctly. So we'll do that, we'll hit enter there. So we have 2.19, and I'm just going to format that as a percentage. So this is basically the percentage ownership of the convertible note. So, and then we have to figure out the shares per that method. So that's pretty simple. We just multiply that 2.19 times the total shares post financing, and we get 28,475, which that would be the number of shares that convertible note is issued per this method. So now we need the discounted share price. So the discounted share price is just 1 for 100% minus the discount. So this is the discount that we got as part of the convertible note deal. So that would be 80% in this case, times the share price. So 2.68. In this scenario, I'm going to go ahead and lock those in. And then we want principal and interest plus interest divided by discounted share price. So as we said earlier, the principal plus interest is this number right here. Since we calculated that as this $100,000 for 2 years at 8% interest. And then we want to divide that by the discounted share price. So 43,489.88. And that is the number of shares that should be issued to the convertible note per this method. So now what we need to do is just go on and calculate the first row for these 3 different methods, just to see the difference and allow it to populate based on which method you choose right up here. So in order to do that, I'm just going to copy and paste this over. And of course those are going to be zeros because it's multiplying by the wrong number here. So for this one, we just want to drag this green box over to this 0. So this C25, it's multiplying by C25. So it's multiplying by 0 here, which would make it 0. And in this case, we want to do the same thing, but we want to drag it over to the dollars invested method. And that way, if we hit 0 here, this goes down to 0 right here, because now it's being multiplied by 0. If we put 1 here, then now this is working here. And it's using the same basic calculations.